Hello and welcome to Calvin Education. This video is going to walk through how to create a student group from a Calvin Pulse that has been completed in the system. Please note, this is a permission that only system admins have the ability to do. The first step is to locate the Pulse from which you would like to build a student group for. Once you've selected that Pulse card, it will take you to the summary report. Select the three dots in the upper right-hand corner and then select User Group Creator. This will take you to the Student Group Creator page. Once here, you'll want to ensure you have the correct Pulse window for which you would like to make that student group from. The next step is to create condition collection or collections based on what you would like to be looked at when creating that student group. If I select Add Question Condition, it displays within this dropdown all the questions that are within my Pulse. I can then select one question to determine the condition for which a student would be included within the student group I would like to create. For example, I've selected, I know when holidays come, my schedule will be different, and that is okay. If I want to have students that answered unfavorably to this question be in my group, then I will select from the criteria dropdown, answered unfavorably. If I want to see students that skipped this question, I'm going to go ahead and select skipped. You'll see below, if I selected this condition and I no longer wish to have it, I can select remove condition. I can go back again. I can add that condition back by selecting add question condition and then selecting what type of criteria for that specific question. I can also choose to add a condition by dimension. Once I've selected add dimension condition, it gives me the ability to do overall of any of the dimensions I've created or to select a specific dimension. Once you've selected your dimension or overall, you will then select the criteria. Is it the percent favorable, the number average, number answered unfavorably within that dimension, how much time was taken, etc. I'm going to do percent favorable. Within this dropdown, you can determine the mathematical symbol you would like to use. Is it less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or greater than? And then you can select here the percent that you would like that specific criteria to meet. Once you've selected at least one question condition or one dimension condition, you can preview the student count. This will display the number of students that met the collection condition criteria above. Based on what we have up here, any student that had a favorability for the dimension of self-awareness of less than or equal to 50% would be included in my group. I do have the ability to add an additional dimension condition or an additional question condition to this collection if I would like to. For example, if I select Add Dimension Collection and I select Relationship Skills, in here I select the number skipped is less than or equal to 50, this means that any student that is going to be included in my student count must meet both this condition above and this condition below. Now that I have added a second condition within my collection, I have the ability to change the requirements within this collection to either be an and statement or an or statement. This means If I have and here, only the students that meet this condition and this condition will be displayed in my student count. If I wish to have this or this be included in my student count, therefore my student group, I'm going to change this to or. I also have the ability to add an additional condition collection. This defaults to or, but I can change this to and. This means that a student will need to meet the requirements of condition collection 1 and whatever I create for condition collection 2. If I keep this to or, this means the student will need to meet either condition collection 1 or whatever I create for condition collection 2. We'll go ahead down here and add a question condition. I'm going to go ahead and add a question condition with my second collection. Once I have adjusted my collections and my conditions, I'll come back down here again, preview that student count. And if my conditions above meet the students that I would like to be in that student group, I'm going to either create a new student group here, and then create that new student group, or if I have a student group that is already created that I want to replace any of the students that meet this criteria above, or if I want to replace a student group, I would select Group to Replace, select that group from the dropdown, and then select Replace Student Group. This means that I'm going to replace the students within the group called Check-in on Group with the students here. It may be the same students, or it may be different students based on the criteria you've selected above. Now that I have my new student group, it notifies me here. And then as a system admin, I can view that student group by going to Groups and selecting that group here. It notifies me below how that group was created. Once I click on the group name, I can see the students that are within that specific group. Now that you've created a group, you have the ability for any pulses to use just that student group to give a pulse to. Please enjoy the ability to add groups to the system.